Hey guys, Eric Stratman coming to you with 10 TV. Got my girl Steph here, one of the most motivating athletes, CrossFitters I've ever seen. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, hi guys, I'm Steph Hammerman and I'm from Davie, Florida. I'm a CrossFit Level 1 trainer at CrossFit Conquest in Davie, and I've been doing CrossFit for 2 years, been coaching for about a year, and I do CrossFit the same way you guys would, just maybe a little bit different.
So what is it that limits you from CrossFit and moving, like, you know, I would say atypical?
Well, an average athlete, I'm an adaptive athlete, so an average athlete is able to do the movements as though they're supposed to be written. But I was born with cerebral palsy, and so that basically impairs my motor functions a little bit and balance coordination a little bit, so I've had to figure out how to do the movements the way that they would work for my body, and also the way that they would work for your body as well. So as a coach, you coach one way; as an athlete, I do it another way.
I know you have a little bit of a organization going, and you got a company. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's not more of an organization, but it's more of a brand, and letting people know kind of who I am as an athlete, who I am as a trainer. The I Adapt and Conquer movement was just basically words that I used to promote myself as a person. We all want to make ourselves a little bit different, and you know, we want people to know who we are, and I want people to know who I am for good reasons. I want people to know that I come to regionals to volunteer, but I'm also here for the experience. I wish that, you know, one day that we're able to compete just like you're able to compete. So even though I don't compete against athletes, I compete with athletes. I like to say that my weights may never be RX, but my effort always will be. So I live by that, and it's important to me. So.
Well, that's great news. I'm gonna have to take a minute.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, what's really cool is in the last couple of months or so, I've been able to build kind of this CrossFit seminar, and I go into different boxes around the country. I've been able to travel a little bit and teach people what it's like to be a coach from my perspective, but to be an athlete. So I get to put you through a workout as though you had to do CrossFit the way that I do.
Right. So
when we do the WOD, you're doing the movements the way I would do them, which is pretty cool.
So is that called I Adapt and Conquer? Is that the, or like I said, it's a brand you're doing, but the seminar, or how, and what is the seminar called?
Well, we like to call it the Hammer Challenge. My nickname in the CrossFit community is the Hammer. My last name is Hammerman, so it's kind of fitting. I got to compete in Crush Games, and I PR'd a lift. I PR'd my clean at 42 pounds at Crush Games, and that one, you know, movement and those 30 seconds in life kind of changed who I was as an athlete, and that nickname was given to me, and it's kind of just stuck. So when I put people through the Hammer Challenge, I guess it's basically to show them my perspective, but to also show somebody that CrossFit is for anyone who wants to do it. You know, doctors once told me that I may never read, speak, or even write. So if I'm able to do those things, and you know, I graduated with a master's degree last week, so it's like, if I can do all those things, why couldn't I teach somebody how to do CrossFit? And that was a really big motivator for me, is this community gave me that sense of, you can do anything. And I didn't really know that until I started kind of getting out there and putting myself out there. And when I talk to people who are brand new to the sport, they could be 350 pounds. Those are my favorite people to be able to see, because in 6 months from now, they're gonna be like jacked. And it's like, what happened to you?
It's true.
You know, and that confidence builds out of you. You know, there aren't many people who love to take their shirt off at the end of a workout, but you walk into a CrossFit gym, 10 seconds into the workout, everybody's shirt's off.
It's off.
So, you know, it's that same feeling. And I said this to somebody, you know, today, earlier this morning. I said, I've never felt so comfortable in my own skin. So CrossFit gave that to me, because I found an outlet where I said, this is what I'm really good at.
Well, that brings up another quick point, is how did you find CrossFit?
How did I I find CrossFit? Well, I became a competitive hand cyclist in 2011. I did my first full marathon December 4th of 2011 in West Palm, and I finished my first race in 4 hours and 34 minutes. And it was 4 hours of my life, and I was exhausted. But I looked up at the clock and I said, you know, I could do better than that. And so I wanted to find something that was different than just the treadmill, the elliptical, all these little things that I was doing. So I walked into CrossFit Hardcore on May 3rd of 2012, and I said, I want to become a better cyclist. And we worked and we worked and we worked. And a year later, I finished the same marathon in 3 hours and 22 minutes. And so little by little, I just got addicted like everybody else. You know, it's no different. Just because I sit down during some movements or have to walk differently, it's no different with the passion. CrossFit, there's something about the community. You get bit by the bug and you're screwed. So, you know, like I said, I work really hard for it, and I want people to take it seriously. When I walk into a gym, people aren't assuming that I can go run a 400. People aren't assuming that I'll go, you know, finish Grace or finish, you know, any one of those CrossFit workouts, whether it be Fran or any of that. And so when I'm able to do that and people stop for a second and go, okay, that's pretty cool. And then if we were to work out for 6 months at a time, that would just become, that's how Steph works out. It's not fascinating anymore, it's just normal. So little by little, this is gonna become the norm. I want this to become the norm. You know, you didn't know what you were getting into when you spoke to me. Right. You know, you wanted to do an interview. Yeah. And we'll be honest, you know,
Absolutely.
Probably because I use a chair and you just wanted to see what it was about, and because you kind of knew what I was like, but take 5 minutes to get to know me and you don't see this anymore. So that's what I like to work on, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to go to the games one day or compete in regionals. So
well, that's some awe-inspiring information, if I could say it. I mean, being I'm gonna take one more step.
Come here. Don't cry.
All right, guys, this is Eric with 10 TV, wrapping up with the Hammer Steph here. Real motivating stuff. You want to leave us with anything else?
Well, anybody can find me on social media at iAdaptFitness. That's my handle for almost anything. And there, if you want to comment or leave a comment, you're more than welcome to connect with me through there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is a pretty big thing right now. If you want, you can email me at stephanie.hammerman@gmail.com, and that's where most of my seminar information comes from. And then if you contact me and your box wants to do it, you know, we'll make it happen.
That's great information. So for Steph the Hammer, this is Eric with 10 TV, where we're striving to help you become your own 10.